You know how some people say they just need a second chance to be a better parent? Well, Briana Olsen may be running out of second chances entirely. The way she's been moving lately, it's almost like she's sabotaging herself on purpose. And what makes it so heartbreaking is that she doesn't even seem to notice how much damage she's doing. Not just to her case, but to her own son, Baby Winter. Let's take it from the top because before this latest disaster, Bree's story was already a tangled web of court orders, emotional breakdowns, and poor decisions that somehow kept repeating themselves. The custody battle between Bree and her ex 2K has been going on for months, and now it just keeps getting messier. At this point, 2K has full legal primary custody of Baby Winter, which means he's the one making the big decisions school, healthcare, all of it. Bree, on the other hand, was only given unsupervised visitation for 7 days a month. 7. That is 1 week to be a mom. And even then, those 7 days came with strict, detailed rules from the court. She was required to notify 2K about where she'd be staying during her visitation week. If she switched locations, say from an Airbnb to a family house, she was supposed to let him know right away.
He could be doing that in private and just saying that for the internet because he's the one that made the rule that like we can't introduce a new partner unless we've been dating them for 6 months or something.
You know he made that rule just for you. Like he's not
Oh,
going
I
to follow
know he
that.
did. I know he did. I remember the time that he did that, and I remember exactly
Everything
why.
he does is because of her.
Yeah.
There's a lot of spite.
She was also restricted from traveling long distances with Winter without advance permission. And she was forbidden from posting him online or discussing him publicly, which, in the age of social media, is harder than it sounds. She wasn't even allowed to let friends or third parties talk about him online. This was all clearly written in her court order, and it wasn't optional. The rules did not end there because of Bree's history. 2K filed a domestic violence restraining order against her. And her boyfriend Santos, yes, the same Santos with prior domestic violence charges, was explicitly ordered to stay away from Baby Winter entirely. The court made it crystal clear no FaceTime, no visits, not even indirect communication involving Winter. The goal was simple protect the child from volatile adults.
I find it crazy how the court says that Brie Olson needs to do specific things while she has baby Winter, and yet she will go and argue tooth and nail that she is doing the right thing, even though she's most definitely not. On Snapchat, once again, Brie Olson was arguing with somebody when they told her that Santos was breaking the court orders because he is located around her and around the baby. Of course, we're not seeing Santos in any of the videos. We're not seeing baby Winter on any of the videos, but we are seeing his hand, and she keeps saying that she's with him. But why does Santos need to be around?
But despite all these warnings and legal walls, Bree just couldn't stay within her boundaries. She kept crossing lines that were supposed to be unbreakable until once again 2K had to step in. Okay, you guys, let me just say this part right here, this is where everything really starts to unravel. So imagine this with me. Bree's in Texas, right? Supposed to be having this calm, peaceful week with her baby. No drama, no fights, just bonding time. But of course, that's not what happens because in true Bree fashion, something goes sideways. And next thing you know, 2K is rushing to file what's called an emergency motion, also known in legal terms as an ex parte request. Basically, it is when someone says, Judge, I can't wait, this is urgent, I need you to step in right now. And that is exactly what 2K did. He raised a serious safety concern for Baby Winter. He wasn't being petty, he wasn't doing this for control, at least not from what we see in the paperwork. He was genuinely scared. In his filing, he asked the court to change Bree's visits from unsupervised to supervised only, saying he couldn't trust her anymore. And honestly, when you hear what happened next, it is hard not to understand where he was coming from. So according to 2K, Bree decided to pack up and move from her original Airbnb to another location without telling him. Like, imagine that. You're the dad, your child's supposed to be at one address, you go to check and poof, gone. She's somewhere else entirely. No heads up, no explanation. 2K tried to reach her through her court-approved parenting app, the one they're required to use for all communication, but she just did not respond. And we're not talking about a few minutes or an hour, we're talking days. Radio silence, no call, no text, nothing. He's sitting there staring at unread messages, wondering if his child is safe. I mean, as a parent, that is a nightmare fuel. That would make anyone panic.
Brie Olsen is cooked. So 2K did file a motion. She is not at the Airbnb that she was staying at. Apparently 2K cannot even get in contact with Brie. She is not answering any of his phone calls. People are saying they have not seen Chrome in a few days. This is absolutely ridiculous, and you do not do this to another parent. Like, you did this to yourself. She definitely has broken the DVRO. There is zero accountability on Brie's part. She says 2K leaked the address. Why would he do that? More like, I think you're probably paranoid because you probably did have Sandy Toast at that house or Airbnb. So you're nervous, and so now you switch places because you think a PI is following you. But you posted a video on TikTok of the Airbnb, the front and the back. But you quickly blame 2K. I think that this is going to be the end for Brie Olsen. She's going to go back to supervised visits. 2K is probably definitely going to win the final full custody, sole custody like he has now. And she's going to be stuck with supervised visits.
And this is where I pause because I need you to really feel that moment. Imagine being a father trying to do everything by the book and then realizing the person you share a child with isn't even following court orders that were meant to keep everyone safe. That's the kind of anxiety that keeps you up all night. But of course, it gets worse because 2K's motion also mentioned that Santos, yes, that's Santos, the one the court explicitly banned from being anywhere near Winter, was allegedly there, like present during the visit.
Being said that Santos went to the same restaurant or a restaurant near where her and Winter are staying or where her and Winter were located, and she's arguing that he can go wherever he wants. It has nothing to do with her and Winter as long as he's not around Winter. It's just the fact that she just never wants to admit that she's wrong and that she always needs a man or these fake friends around her instead of just being a mom to her son. When let's remember that she's not a full-time mom. 2K is a full-time father to baby Winter. Of course he has help from his family members, but Brie Olsen can't even put her whole mind, body, soul, energy into her son Winter, the short amount of time that she has him, and that speaks volumes to how much care she has for her son. So if she's really pregnant, I can only imagine how much less attention she's going to give baby Winter when she has a new kid, a new baby daddy.
You guys, that is huge. That is not just bending the rules, that is breaking them in half. Santos wasn't even supposed to see Winter through a phone screen, let alone be in the same room. Yet, 2K claimed that's exactly what happened. And if that wasn't enough, 2K said Brie was posting about Winter online again, which, let's remember, she's not allowed to do. Plus, he said she wasn't properly taking care of him during that visit. Something about lack of supervision, chaotic environments, all the things a court tries to prevent. So, of course, 2K panicked. From his point of view, he was watching every boundary they fought so hard to build just crumble. So he went to court asking for help before things got worse. And honestly, can we even blame him? Because at this point, it is like every time Brie gets a chance to prove she can be trusted, she does the exact opposite. And that is where things really start to spiral. Brie did not take that lying down. She quickly filed her own declaration opposing the motion, insisting there was no actual emergency at all. She accused 2K of using the court system as a form of control and, in her words, for clout. She asked the judge to completely deny 2K's request and instead schedule a full hearing. But she did not stop there. Brie went as far as requesting the court to sanction 2K, ordering him to pay $10,000 for what she called frivolous filings and harassment.
So, bitter. And all these T pages saying I'm on supervised visits, you're pulling up a blank document. You're pulling up what was requested. You're not pulling up what it actually is. Come on now. That one girl with the bonnet, so annoying. No, for real. Show your hair, girl. Where are you going? They said what? I didn't do anything. I didn't break my court order. Santos can be in Texas while I'm with Winter. He just can't be at my visits. He's not been at my visits. He flew on a different flight. Mind you, if you want to go look all this up, I included this in my response, by the way, since I want to pull everything up. Santos came on a different flight to Dallas. I came on a different flight to Dallas when we got here 2 days before my visits. Not the day of my visits, not the day before, 2 days before. Because he helped me set up. He's my man. He doesn't want me like walking up the stairs with all these fucking suitcases and chrome and all this shit. So yes, he got a flight just so he could help me 2 days prior to get into my Airbnb. And then he left. He went to go do a bunch of shit. He's been going out, fucking steakhouses, carnival, hanging out with his buddies, haircut, shopping, just a bunch of shit. Okay, he's doing his own thing. We are in the same state. We're allowed to be in the same state, the same city. It is denied. Stop letting these T pages lie to you. Denied, 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 denied. They're pulling up a fucking document with no signature on it. They're pulling up a fucking document of what he requested, not what actually happened. It was denied. Be so fucking for real. Y'all are so dumb.
Then came her list of new requests. She asked for permission to travel with Winter to Corpus Christi for Thanksgiving from November 24th to November 30th to visit her family. She also wanted the court to acknowledge her completion of the parenting course she'd been ordered to take months earlier. She attached proof that she'd finished an online version of the program and asked the judge to mark that condition as satisfied. Her declaration painted 2K as the one starring unnecessary drama. She said they had already agreed on the October visitation back in early September. She even mentioned sending him the Airbnb address 2 weeks before her trip, claiming he saw the message within 10 minutes but ignored it. She added that she texted him again on the pickup day to confirm time and place, and he responded with just one word, hopefully. After that, she said he did not contact her at all, except for 2 days later, asking for a photo of Winter and their dog watching a movie.
Stop asking me, did I file a motion? Did I announce that? No. The only thing I said was I got motion.
Her argument, if 2K was truly panicking about an emergency, why wait days and only ask for a cute photo? It did not add up. Now, here is where the case takes a darker, more paranoid turn. Bree accused 2K of doxing her Airbnb address, claiming that once she got to Texas, strangers began showing up at her rental. She said the only person who knew that address was 2K, so he had to be the one who leaked it. Fearing for her safety, Bree moved herself and Winter to a hotel, which yes, she did without notifying 2K. That alone was another violation of the visitation order.
Briana Olsen has did it again. 2K has filed a motion. She put, hey, so filing a motion every single time that I have my... If it was questionable that she broke the DVRO any other time, she quite literally did this time for sure. It was clear she was talking about 2K. Then she mentioned switching B&Bs and not telling 2K, and she is supposed to let him know wherever she's at when she has visits with Baby W. You could tell from his clips that he was absolutely just fed up, even with his fans. But they literally took everything for a joke this visit. Sandy Toast made jokes about going to get Chrome knowing that he couldn't be around the visit. Bree kept insinuating that 2K leaked the address and had people literally stalking their place that they were staying. And let's be honest, he's not going to play with her. We have seen him in action and what he has done this entire time. I don't know if she's doing this on purpose because maybe she can't handle having Winter for 7 days. But she mentioned multiple times that she would get a nanny. Even making a joke about getting a nanny during her visit to go out on a date with Sandy Toast, somebody that she sees all the time.
So she then claimed 2K and his legal team were trying to micromanage every part of her life, demanding her flight details, who she was with, and even why. According to Bree, these weren't part of the official court orders, and she felt like he was just trying to control her through paperwork. She said she wanted to be able to live freely, travel, and spend holidays with her son without feeling constantly monitored. Surprisingly, the court did not side with 2K this time. The judge denied his emergency request, citing a lack of immediate or irreparable harm to Baby Winter. In short, 2K couldn't prove the situation was urgent enough. The moment that decision came down, Bree took to social media to celebrate. She went live telling everyone that 2K's motion had been denied and the rumors about her being switched to supervised visits were false. She called out T pages saying they were spreading misinformation by posting a blank court document that looked like an order but wasn't. She insisted that her visits were still unsupervised and that 2K's emergency motion had no relief.
It is denied. Stop letting these T pages lie to you. Denied, 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 denied. They're pulling up a document with no signature on it. They're pulling up a document of what he requested, not what actually happened. It was denied.
She also tried to clarify the situation with Santos, saying he had only been in Texas 2 days before her visit to help her set up her Airbnb. She claimed he left right after and that his presence during her visitation week was just a coincidence. They just happened to be in the same state. But her own story started to sound shaky because if Santos helped her move in, he knew her address, and if strangers really started showing up at that Airbnb, could it really be 2K who leaked it? Why would a father expose his own child's location? It made no sense. Meanwhile, Santos, who's known for chasing attention, definitely had access and motive. And here's the detail people could not stop thinking about. When Bree said she moved from the Airbnb to a hotel for safety, who helped her move all her stuff? If Santos wasn't there, how did she do it? That question alone made people wonder if Santos had stayed longer than she had admitted, which, if true, meant she'd broken court orders yet again by allowing him near Winter. But the story did not even end there. 2K released screenshots showing that in the middle of that night, around 3 a.m., Bree had messaged him and his mom saying she had an emergency and wanted Winter picked up early.
Briana Olsen, what did you call 2K and his mom for at 3 o'clock in the morning saying it was an emergency and that they needed to get baby W? At 3 in the morning? But then when they finally seen the messages, you said that you got the emergency figured out. So, as some of y'all are aware, 2K ended up filing a motion basically stating that Bree is going against everything that she's not supposed to be doing. And as of right now, 2K does not know where baby W is. Bree switched places, did not tell him. He has messaged her and asked. She has ignored it. And then he also stated that Briana had made the comment of taking Winter to Christi Corpus or whatever the hell that place is, which is right near Mexico. Make it make sense? And then, her last visitation when Ruby was there, how baby W ended up falling and slipping at the pool. And she just sat there while Ruby picked baby W up. Yeah, that's in there. Everything from this past weekend's in there, and the proof. They also put in there that if for some reason you're not able to care and watch Winter on your visit, then you need to send his little butt on back. Which is kind of sad because, you wanted this time and then you make it like you can't handle it. And the whole nanny conversation, y'all on live talking about the nanny and how it should be fine because, yeah, that's in there too. Also is in there how if you couldn't handle Winter by yourself, why would you have brought the dog? And there's proof of him in the same facility.
This is a woman who only gets to see her child 7 days per month, and yet, in the dead of night, she's asking for an early pickup. 2K was stunned, and honestly, so was everyone else. And here's where people started connecting the dots. Just days earlier, Bree had gone live with Santos, joking about whether she would get cancelled for hiring a nanny or asking her mom to watch Winter so she could go on a date with Santos. He did not discourage her. He actually said she would be fine. Which says a lot about where her priorities may be, especially considering Santos has a history of neglecting his own child. They even mocked 2K during the live, saying that if he could leave Winter with his mom, why couldn't Bree do the same? Santos even threw in a jab, claiming 2K had probably never spent a night with his own son. But anyone following this story knows that is a false. 2K is with Winter nearly full time, and while Bree only gets 7 precious days, she's still thinking about date nights and social lives instead of cherishing that limited time with her son. It's genuinely sad because every time Bree gets a chance to rebuild her image as a mother, she finds a way to tear it back down with impulsive, self-sabotaging choices. Now, with all that chaos, 2K has already filed a new motion for full and sole custody, and honestly, it's not hard to understand why. Every time Bree violates an order or changes plans without notice, she gives him more proof that she can't be trusted to co-parent safely. If things keep going the way they are, Bree's unsupervised visits might soon turn into supervised only sessions, meaning she won't be left alone with her son. And when you look at everything together, the ignored rules, the late night emergencies, the sketchy involvement of Santos, it is starting to look like that may be the only option left. So now the big question is the court giving Bree too much leniency because they see her as a struggling mother trying to do her best? Or is she being allowed to continuously break the same rules because no one wants to call it what it is? Neglect disguised as chaos. Whatever the answer, one thing is painfully clear. Every new motion, every live stream, every emergency text just keeps pushing her further from the very thing she says she wants most: time with her son. That is the part that hits the hardest, because if Brie doesn't change course soon, she might not just lose custody, she might lose her son's trust forever. What do you guys think? Because honestly, I cannot even tell if Brie wants to be a mother or if she's just playing one online.